Everyone, welcome back to the Sofa Kingz YouTube channel. My name is AJ, and joining alongside me is Steven Shred. Steven, who was able to watch the fights on Saturday night. I wasn't able to. I was able to watch the results and some of the highlights. I was able to watch the full Amanda Nunes fight. I was able to actually watch the full Charles Olivera fight on TikTok as well, just because it really didn't take that long for any of that to go down. But interesting, not so interesting results after the fight. I guess let's get into it. Amanda Nunes retiring on top. The Lioness says no more. Steven, what do you think, man?
I think I called it. It is exactly what I said was going to happen in our UFC 4 overview of the bot fights of or bot versions of these. I said Amanda Nunes was going to win and she was going to retire because there's nothing left for her to do, and that is exactly what uh pretty much what she said. She talked about her mom not wanting her to do it and stuff, but I feel like if that was the real reason, she would have retired a lot sooner. But I think she just got nothing left, and Juliana Pena, freaking 50-40ing her again, but what does that really do for her? Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Like I said on the last show, if she retired, and she did, she has nothing left to prove to the MMA community. She is the greatest female mixed martial artist that we have ever seen up until this point. I know that we will eventually have some either recency bias, or someone will come along and get double champ status. I don't know if we'll ever see a triple champ status with the females. It's just with how I think weight works for a lot of women that are that active. I think it's a lot harder for them to put on that much muscle. The same thing as like it's a lot harder for them to cut the weight. They just have totally different bodies. My thing was the quote that came out after, and I'm trying to find it. Oh, here it is. The next champion is going to be the fake one. It's going to be fake forever. Whoever gets the belt now is just pretending to have it. I'm gone. I get what she's saying.
Yeah.
I still think it was kind of a weird thing to say, only because it's like, okay, so then is GSP still like the champ? Is Frank Shamrock still the fucking champ? Because they left. You know what I mean? Like, they left on top.
John Jones is the fake heavyweight champ then? It's a really weird thing to say. I kind of understand what he's trying to say, if that is, because the way I was trying to interpret it, to give her the benefit of the doubt, was like, say they come in and Pena does end up getting the championship, which I don't think she will.
Yeah.
Then, Amanda could still claim, it's like, yeah, but you never beat me for it. So, but I don't know. Saying
everyone's going to be like,
thing, though.
Yeah, and then you saw like I guess I scared her into retirement, and I'm like,
oh my god, yeah, dude, the amount of people clowning on her in the comments, I don't know if you checked them, with her little melee brawl thing, like she runs at her like that, and she just gets down. Like, dude, everybody responded with that.
Yeah, well, because it's like, no, you didn't. No, the entire world knew, and unfortunately, just the crowd's not on her side. Maybe, we do know that the UFC fans and MMA fans in general are willing to switch sides pretty quick. I think people are still fans of Patty, but you can definitely see a different type of reaction to him in the comments now.
It's the same thing with Chimaev. You had people thinking he was an absolute god. Everything went down with the last card, and now that's not really the sentiment anymore. People think he's still top class, like, very hard to beat, but I think people putting him on a pedestal kind of like goes away. So that is definitely like a thing with even the most beloved fighters.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
We also had Charles Du Bronx Olivera going out there and dominating in the first round, getting the TKO victory over Beneil Darisuh. Color me surprised in all of the craziest ways. I just didn't expect to see him get ran over like that. I mean, that I didn't even think he threw more than what, 4 or 5 punches.
It was surprising as hell to watch. And to think it all started with a head kick that didn't even fully connect.
Yeah,
Like, it hit him so hard through his guard that it started that whole sequence, which is insane. I did not I did not see a first round finish, especially like that, from either of them. So, man, that
but
was
I
thrown
mean,
up.
now we have an issue there at 155. It's going to be a
Yep.
bunch of who fights who now, right? We have Islam waiting up there at the top. Charles, who just picked it up, and I mean, even Dana was kind of hinting at it, saying like, "Hey, nothing's guaranteed," even though that's kind of bullshit. But whatever, nothing's guaranteed. But Charles looked so good; it's kind of hard to deny him that next title shot again, because
Yeah.
who does he face? You know what I mean? Like, think about the people he's faced. Um, and I'm trying to remember the Facebook post that I saw. I want to say it was Facebook. I'm sure it was across everything, but it was a post showing like the most recent wins of the 155 division, and Charles is so much ahead on top of everyone else. Um, yeah, there's no reason why he should be fighting anyone else, but
Yeah. This
Islam.
was the only question really. Uh, because Dariush has been on such like a tear.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where's his shot? So he finally got the ex champ who had a very dominant run
Yeah,
and got KO'd. So I think if they're setting things up the way that a lot of people are, kind of guessing and putting together, the idea of Abu Dhabi for Olivera and Islam in October makes sense, especially since we have Dustin and Justin fighting next month, I believe.
yep,
So time frame works out because say, whoever comes out of that fight would get a title shot. It probably wouldn't be until later in the year. I don't think they would make it October,
mm-hmm.
especially with how insane I'm sure that fight's going to be. I doubt Dustin or Justin are able to like walk away from that and be like, okay, I'm ready to fight in like a couple months.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I think Charles gets the next shot if they set it up for October. I think timelines match up to where nobody else could really make a claim that that they're like pushing back the division, which I don't think anyone would make that claim, but you never know. People get weird.
yeah, I I'm looking here at the rankings, at the lightweight rankings, and I see Michael Chandler obviously, and I know he's hoping for that Conor fight. I know he wants it, and I know that seems to be the most obvious one to pick, right? I don't think that this fight's gonna happen.
Yeah,
How
not
many
looking like
how
it.
many legal? I mean, I don't know. I guess legal issues don't really stop Conor, but I know you saw that he gave the mascot that he punched a like a nice hospital trip.
Yeah, that
That's
was weird.
one. I don't know why you ask a professional fighter to punch you. Two, I don't know why a professional fighter is throwing that much heat. I don't know if the mascot was trying to sell the hit and then fell down too quick and then just hit their head. You
I
know what I
mean,
mean?
it looked like Connor hit him
It
because
was.
like where the mass or where the head is like
Mhm.
and where your actual head is in that suit, it looked like the dude got punched in the face. Which, if you're not used to getting punched in the face, especially from the level of like Connor,
Mhm.
I think that's concussion right there. Because it's like Jim Norton talked about having John Jones on their radio show,
Yeah.
which Jim Norton is one of the hosts of UFC. What is it? It's like a radio show, like podcast kind of deal. He asked John Jones to give him just a little leg kick, a little one. He said even at like medium strength, the kick floored him, and he was in so much pain that he was gonna throw up. So it's like, you ask Conor, someone who doesn't really know how to hold back, to punch someone, like, I think he just took the hit, and it was just really bad, and then Conor followed it up with another hit, which didn't look super hard, but,
Mhm.
just not good.
It was enough for sure. Um, you know, I think all things considered, the 155 division, I don't think it's as short of matchups. We still have the winner or the loser of Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, to go against up or down in the rankings. Rafael Fiziev is kind of chilling, waiting, right?
I
I
was
know.
talking about him and Gamrot.
Yeah, him, Gamrot, Saryukian, believe has a matchup coming up pretty soon. Does he? Does he not? I thought he had a fight coming up.
I think that's that the one that's next week? Yep.
Is it? Okay.
That is next week, co-main event against Silva, Joaquim. Silva.
Joaquin Silva?
Yeah, dude, I'm so bad with like the first names, just like reading them off.
Let me see. Yeah. Joaquim Silva. Then you have, that card's not too bad. Armin Petrosian's on it. Pat Sabatini's on it. Obviously Marvin Vettori, Jared Cannonier. It's gonna be a good fight.
Not too bad for a fight night at all.
No. I Jimmy Flick is on the prelims. That's kind of cool.
Especially in comparison to some of the fight nights we've gotten.
Zumagulov is on the card going against Felipe Bunes. I don't know who that is. Dan Argueta. He's a bantamweight going against Ronnie Lawrence. If you don't remember, Dan Argueta was on The Ultimate Fighter, like a season or two ago?
Volk and Ortega, I believe.
Yeah. I think he had like pretty boy hair and then he just shaved it, I want to say.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But all in all, I mean, UFC 289 for what it was, solid decisions, with Amanda Nunes coming out on top super decisively. No one's sitting here going like bad judging. No. Dan Ige picking up the win against Nate the Train Landwehr.
Very dominant win too.
I mean, what do you do now? What do you do with Dan Ige, right? Because 145 is it's not. I don't think it's the same division that it was like maybe a couple of years ago. Just in terms of like entertainment value, but it's still Killer City out there, man. Yeah. I mean, now Dan Ige has to fight with top 10, right? You got to give him. You got to start giving him that climb up back. So I don't know. I think if Dan Ige can, maybe a Bryce Mitchell.
That would not be crazy, especially with the way things have been going. Does Bryce Mitchell have a fight coming up?
I don't see anything for Bryce Mitchell. He took the loss to Ilia Topuria. But before that, he was on a nice streak, right? Versus Edson Barbosa, Andre Fili. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, he was doing pretty well for himself. He's 15-2, so everyone's saying that the hype train for him is gone. I don't think that's even close to true. I think he's young, and is yet to eat, and we've yet to see like the best that he's able to produce. I think he's gonna struggle a bit at the top, but again, he's got time to kind of learn all of that. Wrapping it up for 289, I wanted to get your take on if you saw people called it a brawl for the Gotti Mayweather exhibition.
Yeah.
I saw a bunch of pushing and shoving. I mean, Gotti really wanted to go after Mayweather, and I don't know. The ref stopped it because supposedly there was too much shit talking, but I think that's kind of soft. Mayweather talks in in his sparring sessions all the time. And if we're going to treat an exhibition like a sparring match, that's what it needs to be.
Yeah, it's kind of strange. Not really too sure how that is like was nothing said during the Logan Paul fight or something? Like is this like a new ref that they're bringing in? A
Um,
little strange.
I'm I'm trying to find. So this is from Yahoo Sports. Let me see if I can just pull up the thing for our fans here. Um, So they said the fight was chaotic from the outset. The start was delayed briefly after the two camps got into it early on, and Mayweather was toying with Gotti the whole way through. Gotti complained frequently and got called out or called for holding late in the fifth round. He complained to the referee, Kenny Bayless, about being hit in the back of the head at one point and even threw Mayweather into an illegal hold. Moments into the sixth round when things hadn't changed, Bayless called off the fight, but Gotti wasn't having it. Gotti ran around Bayless, tried to keep fighting Mayweather, which is when everyone swarmed into the ring to get involved. There were fights in the crowd outside of the ring, too. There is one thing that I will tell you about Mayweather and the money team. He is not short of money, which means he has a lot of people willing to go do things for him. Okay. I don't know if you saw how many people jumped into the ring that had TMT on their shirts, but it was a lot, right?
Yeah.
Gotti does not have the same team. He doesn't have the same size of the team. I don't know what he's doing. I'm not saying Mayweather needs to be protected by any means. I'm just saying what goes through your head. What? You got hit in the back of the head once? Okay.
Yeah. That just seems like some seems like some angry reaction that wasn't very well thought out.
Like, you're going to get hit in the back of the head, man. I don't know what to like, I'm not saying that it should be legal to get hit in the back of the head. Obviously, that's a very tender spot. But
yeah.
When you're playing, especially boxing, when you only have specific weapons, right? Specific outcomes are going to happen. You can't be mad at that. And if Mayweather is just constantly running circles around you, man, that's your pride and your ego getting in the way. That's crazy to me. That you're willing to start all that, and you're willing to, I don't know, potentially lose your license, right? Because Mayweather doesn't need a box anymore. He does this shit for fun. Homie's what, in his 50s, late 40s? How old is Mayweather?
Definitely up there.
Let's see. I think he's 46 years old. Okay. And let's look at how old is Gotti. All right, that's not the right guy. 30 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. He was 2-0 he's 2-0 as a professional boxer. 5-1 pro MMA record. Okay. I don't know what went through that dude's head, man. That was just sad. That was the same type of shit as the Conor Khabib situation. I don't think anyone really wants to see that. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make you want to go to a boxing event if that's how people are going to react.
Yeah, and I think it does a disservice as well too, because people are already starting to associate the whole YouTuber boxing with boxing as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
I think it does a disservice to boxing as a whole because people are going to see it as more of a joke. Like, yeah, look what they're letting him get away with. Like, isn't boxing stupid? Which, obviously isn't our stance on it, but it's the same thing when the Conor Khabib thing happened. It did a huge disservice to MMA because you're getting it at the highest platform, all eyes on it, and then people can still equate it to like, oh, look, they're just animals cage fighting. Like, it does a huge disservice.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree. I was lucky enough to be able to work a boxing event this weekend for Golden Boy. It was between Gungia and Derevyanchenko. Derevyanchenko was he's like a Ukrainian dude. Came in, I think he was like 14-2 or something like that. But Gungia, man, homie came in 41-0.
Damn.
41-0. Had a very, very close fight. Some of the judges scored it 115, 113. I thought maybe one more round closer than that score should have been, but it is what it is. They were asking him if he wants to fight Canelo after this. Maybe not. You know what I mean? The whole boxing world is trippy. It was put on by Golden Boy and DAZN, and so getting to see the behind the scenes and stuff and all that, and it was a fun event to go do audio for an arena, especially in my home city, which was nice. I didn't have to travel too far. I didn't have to go all the way to fucking LA. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But honestly, Steven, I just want to get your recap on the fights this weekend. And if there's any fights you really, really want to see given everything that's going on.
Man, fights were solid. Like, there wasn't really any boring fights this weekend. Well, with the UFC card, I missed the PFL one, unfortunately. But yeah, like super solid fights. I thought the decisions were good, which I was super happy with because that's such like a question these days, which is it sucks. It sucks going into a fight. Like next week we got or is it next week? Amanda Nunes and Macy Barber.
That is not next week.
That's next pay-per-view, I believe. Then that one, they've given Macy Barber so many decisions. I really feel like it like scares me that Amanda Nunes has to get a finish or else she might just lose. So it's like I hate that we're in like this period of last 2 years where decisions can just go the way that they shouldn't. So I was really happy that all the decisions on this card were solid. Like Dan Ige, I think won that fight. Marc Andre won that fight. Like the fights that needed a decision. Then of course Amanda Nunes won that fight. So the decisions that were there, the judging was solid. So solid fights. Everything was entertaining. Yeah, the highlight definitely being Olivera getting the finish.
Yeah, but, that was a huge shut up to everyone, and I wasn't really too good at my picks this week. I think I went 3 for 5.
I was almost spot on.
Damn. Yeah, well, there you go.
For co-main.
Hey, I mean it happens. It happens. Lots of fights to get into over the coming weeks. So if you guys are new here, go ahead, subscribe, hit that notification bell, like this video, share with your friends, tell us how stupid we are, tell us how awesome we are. It doesn't matter. We enjoy doing this day in, day out. We enjoy talking about MMA, and that's all we want to build is just a community of MMA fans and people who love to talk about MMA. That being said, I have a new segment I am working on to getting fans audio and reacting to some of those audio. I've been working on that with a buddy of mine, and I haven't even told Steven about that. That's kind of a surprise I'm throwing at him on the show live as we speak. So I'm looking at his face right now just to see the reaction.
I was like, damn.
Oh, okay, cool. So that being said, if you guys want to get more involved, go ahead, head over to our Instagram page, Sofa Kingz USA. That should be our handle for everything. I was able to secure the handle for all the sites now, so it's not just Sofa Kingz for one. It's Sofa Kingz USA. Sofa Kingz USA, baby. So maybe we can make this global one day. We'll have some Spanish guy. we'll have a guy who's Mexican and can speak Spanish, because I'm Mexican and I can't speak Spanish for shit, really.
Same. Maybe that's a push for us to finally learn.
You know what? Maybe it is the push for us to finally learn. Maybe it's the push for us to get translators and just have someone translate our videos and then ship it in.
True. I'll just have someone sit next to me.
Steven, as always, brother, it is awesome to do the show alongside you. I appreciate you. And until then, We will see you guys on the next one.
See ya.